Pooja.
All right, Ishwarya Paliwal. Ishwarya, stay on with me as she brings out the latest on what's been happening in the Parliament. Remember, the deadlock continues, and this is with regard to Prime Minister Modi reaching the BJP Parliamentary meeting. Whether or not the ruling party will have a way out for the deadlock to end in the Parliament. Ishwarya, tell us now about the opposition MPs, because they've been sitting on a dharna. They refuse to budge. They are not even willing to have a reply from Home Minister Amit Shah. They want it from no less than the Prime Minister.
And that is exactly what we saw take place, a couple of days back also. In fact, all the opposition leaders are now saying that they will keep on sitting until the time Prime Minister Narendra Modi comes onto the floor and speaks about what exactly is taking place in Manipur. The Chief Minister of the state of Manipur has spoken about what exactly is taking place. Most of the top leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party have also been speaking about the things that are now taking place in the state of Manipur. But all the opposition leaders, especially the Congress party at the moment, now wanting no less than Prime Minister Narendra Modi to speak on the floor of the Parliament and to explain what exactly is taking place and all the steps that the government is taking to make sure that these kind of what we have been seeing over the past many days in the state, those kind of things do not take place. The opposition extremely adamant, Pooja, at the moment nothing less than Prime Minister Narendra Modi's statement. The BJP on the other side is saying we are willing to talk, but it is the opposition which is making sure that there is a logjam, and that is what we all are seeing over the past 3 to 4 days. Next 3 to 4 days, Pooja, extremely crucial. The BJP trying its level best to make sure that opposition and the central government come on one page. We'll have to see what exactly happens.
You know, Ishwarya, there are about 31 bills, crucial bills, whether it's about cinematography, whether it's about even earlier as was being talked about the ordinance bill for the Delhi government. These are some important bills that were set to be tabled that doesn't look like is going to happen. There were some bills that had to be cleared, discussed and debated as well. Can we say now that Manipur, which is a very important issue, which is a sensitive matter, must be debated and discussed, but could become one of the issues that leads to a deadlock, could lead to a washout of this monsoon session as well?
Definitely, Pooja. We saw how the Adani issue had become the focal point.
Correct.
Last time, and now the focal point is Manipur. All the opposition parties, very adamant that they will not let the parliament function till the time Prime Minister himself speaks. In fact, Prime Minister on the first day had come out and given a statement, but that statement is something that the opposition parties and the opposition leaders at the moment are not willing to accept, and that's the reason why we have been seeing both the houses being adjourned within a couple of minutes. We have to wait and watch what happens at 11 a.m. today, but the BJP at the moment wanting to make sure that at least they speak with the top opposition leaders so that Parliament houses, both of them, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, can function and crucial bills can be passed.
Ishwarya, any word on the opposition netas? Are they still sitting on a dharna and rotating shifts? Have they got up for now? Will be having their own discussions and deliberations? What are you hearing about their strategy now?
Well, what we understand the opposition leaders at the moment will do is to make sure that they keep on sitting there till the time they get a word from the Bharatiya Janata Party. We are expecting some kind of word to come out after Prime Minister, after the meeting that is taking place at the BJP, but we'll still have to wait and watch. As far as, at the moment, if we speak about what's happening, the opposition extremely adamant and saying that we want the Prime Minister to come out and to speak something about, and that too on the floor of the Parliament, to speak about what's taking place in the state of Manipur. The BJP on the other side is saying that if you want to speak with us, we are willing, but why are you wanting to make sure that only the Prime Minister should speak? Amit Shah, in fact, the Home Minister of the, Home Minister yesterday said, we want to speak about it. Smriti Irani also, Pooja, yesterday came out and gave a statement saying that we are willing to speak about the issues, but it is the opposition which now wants nothing less than the Prime Minister, which is something which I believe we will not see, at least in this Parliament.
Stay on with me. For the viewer tuning in right now, look closely on your screen. The two visuals. One is of Prime Minister Narendra Modi arriving for the Bharatiya Janata Party's parliamentary meeting. It's of course a part of procedure, a protocol. There will be deliberation and discussion on how to go about. Then look at all the songs that were sung, and importantly the dharna on which the opposition MPs, this is the India bloc that sat through the night. Even though there were parts of Delhi that had rainfall, they were sitting right in the premises in rotating night shifts because they are refusing to budge. They want to continue to demand for a reply from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, even though there is a likelihood of Home Minister Amit Shah to be speaking on what exactly unfolded. And because Home Minister Amit Shah had also gone to the northeastern state of Manipur, that's one of the reasons that he may be giving a reply in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. But it's very likely that the opposition will not accept any of it. So the two visuals on your screen, Prime Minister Modi there arriving for the parliamentary meeting. We'll cut across to more visuals as and when they arrive. So more visuals on your screen right now of from inside the parliamentary meeting that has just started for now. Remember, of course, the ruling party has the majority of MLAs, but this time the strategy of the opposition is very clear. They may be at loggerheads like Aam Aadmi Party and Congress is in Punjab, or TMC and left are in Bengal. But at least on the surface, against the BJP, in the parliament, they want to look united absolutely. And specifically with regard to the issue of Manipur, they know that they have a strong issue at hand. They can corner the Modi government. Specifically, how can it take 2 months for a northeastern state that borders another country to be facing the turmoil, the ethnic strife that they did? Aishwarya Paliwal continues to be with us. So, Aishwarya, what are we expecting today in the BJP parliamentary meeting as Prime Minister Modi has arrived here? All right, as we go across to our colleagues on the ground as well, this is going to be a very important day. Remember, already the week that started on a note of uproar by the opposition MPs, even going toward well of the House. Aam Aadmi Party Sanjay Singh was also suspended by the chairperson, primarily because of the sort of alleged misbehavior that, according to the chair of the Rajya Sabha, was seen by Aam Aadmi Party Member of Parliament. Opposition MPs are targeting this, saying that anyone asking for any sort of discussion, debate, whether on Manipur and more, are either being thrown out or their voices are being scuttled. But the bigger question will be, will an impasse be resolved this time? The government has a plan. They will want to react to it. They've said that they want a discussion, but that's not happening right now. So the logjam, at least over Manipur, continues. And this is when, remember, government initially had said, the ruling party also had said, that they have a massive legislative front to push. There are many bills that are pending that need to be cleared. It could not be cleared in the previous session as well. But for now, it is about the demand for Prime Minister Modi to speak. Will a bill be passed amid all of this uproar? Again, if a bill is going to be tabled and cleared, will it happen amid these chants and sloganeering by the opposition MPs? You're looking at External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, Minister Piyush Goyal as well. Let's listen in to the reactions coming in. All right, so these are some of the...
कंटिन्यू मणिपुर वायलेंस की बात हो रही है, दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण भी है। संसद में चर्चा नहीं हो पा रहा, प्रधानमंत्री जी को बोलने।
So the government has already tried to resolve the issue through discussion. There have been discussions with the opposition netas, at least for the session to continue, but the opposition netas know this is the opportunity they will not want to miss to corner the Modi government, to have a reply from the Prime Minister. There are several senior ministers who have interacted with Prime Minister Modi also in the past few days. And specifically with the Home Minister Amit Shah, who's visited Manipur, who has the ground situation assessment with him, will likely be making a statement. Now, when is that statement going to come? There's no clarity or confirmation on that yet. But it is very unlikely that the Prime Minister will give out a statement on that. And this is how the Congress party specifically is leading the charge. Remember that one by one, they're putting it on social media site Twitter, their statements by targeting Modi government. I want you to listen in to what Home Minister Amit Shah said yesterday in the Parliament. It was a short, crisp statement. And apart from that, remember, there are more reactions also and more visuals coming in. That's Prime Minister Narendra Modi walking in with the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, Prahlad Joshi, other ministers as well, walking and heading towards the BJP parliamentary meeting. Dr. Jitendra Singh as well. So this is going to be very interesting. Remember, the ministers know for now that the opposition is united, at least on surface this time, against the Modi government. Will they be able to give out a statement via the Prime Minister, or will the government also stay defiant and say Home Minister Amit Shah is perhaps the best member of parliament from the government to be able to, as a minister, as an MP, to give out a statement?
मेरा विपक्ष के सभी सम्मानीय सदस्यों से मेरा आग्रह है कि एक बहुत संवेदनशील मुद्दे पर काफी सदस्यों ने सत्ताधारी दल के और विपक्ष के दोनों ओर के सदस्य ने चर्चा की मांग की है। मैं सदन में चर्चा के लिए तैयार हूं। मुझे मालूम नहीं है कि विपक्ष को चर्चा करने देना नहीं चाहता। मेरा विपक्ष के नेता को आग्रह है कि चर्चा होने दे और इस महत्वपूर्ण मसले पर पूरे देश के सामने सच्चाई जाए, बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है।
हम सब के अंदर अगर जरा सी भी संवेदना है तो आज जरूरत है उस कारगिल के योद्धा के साथ खड़े होने की। आज जरूरत है मणिपुर की महिलाओं के साथ खड़े होने की। और इसलिए हम लोग ये अपना प्रोटेस्ट, ये अपना आंदोलन जारी रखेंगे बापू की प्रतिमा के आगे। और मैं अभी भी भारत के प्रधानमंत्री से अनुरोध कर रहा हूँ कि आप आइए और सदन में बताइए कि आप कैसे वहाँ पे शांति की बहाली करेंगे। वहाँ तो डबल इंजन की सरकार है, प्रदेश में भी बीजेपी है, देश में भी बीजेपी है। और आपके मुख्यमंत्री खुद कह रहे हैं कि सैकड़ों ऐसी घटनाएं हो चुकी हैं। मतलब इनको शर्म भी नहीं आती कि मुख्यमंत्री खुद से स्वीकार कर रहा है कि ऐसी तो सैकड़ों घटनाएं वहाँ पर हुई हैं। तो इसके लिए जवाबदेही किसकी है? तो प्रधानमंत्री को सदन में आके जवाब देना चाहिए। पूरा देश उनकी ओर देख रहा है।
Why Home Minister is not allowing the Prime Minister to come to Parliament? We want Honorable Prime Minister who can give very good speeches across India. Why he is afraid to give speech in Parliament? We are asking for his statement only. We are not asking for his resignation. He is the leader of the Lok Sabha. Therefore, it is Prime Minister who has to come and speak to the MPs. If Prime Minister is not ready to come to speak to the MPs, who else can speak?
Amid all of this political showdown, remember, crucial hours are also being wasted. Not only the fact that there is no discussion, but bills are also not being tabled and cleared. And we hope that does happen in the next few hours. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to India Today Television. I'm signing off for now.
I want to ask you, how far is 21,000 on the Nifty now?
Yeah, so I think markets would continue to achieve new milestones going ahead. What we are eyeing right now is 20,150. So ideally, as per technical analysis, whenever any stock or the index trades its all-time high, so it's a reciprocal retracement theory, which gives us the target projections or the next resistance projections. Now, 161.8% retracement of the previous correction that we saw in the Nifty, but the one which bottomed out around 16,800, that level is coming around 20,150. So I think as of now, for short-term perspective, maybe later half of this month or early next month, we would see 20,150 getting achieved. And yes, once that is surpassed, then 21,000 also would not be, it would not take much time.
So Ruchit, now tell us, how do investors make money at record high markets? What's the strategy that they should adopt right now?
So one should adopt a stock-specific strategy over here. See, all the markets, if you see the broader markets, most of the sectors have participated in this up move. So I think auto is one name where we have continuously witnessed a good momentum of late. So I think this trend is likely to continue going ahead. Escorts, Ashok Leyland, then Tata Motors, these are some of the names which would continue this outperformance.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 37 and minimum 30 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 27 and minimum 25 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 35 and minimum 27 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 21 and minimum 19 degrees. Chennai, maximum 27 and minimum 25 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 25 and minimum 22 degrees.
Kerala's public health. All political parties traveling from different parts.
Armed with facts,
Looking at political back.
she takes the news by its horns.
You think the future of these students are not hampered?
Fierce, bold, and direct, setting the tone for the biggest stories from every corner and every angle. Expect nothing but the unfiltered truth.
News first, niceties later. Watch me, Nabila Jamal, on India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Good morning and a warm welcome to India Today. I'm Amit Shah. These are the headlines we're tracking at the top of this hour. Crucial BJP party meet underway in Parliament. Prime Minister Modi attends meet amid disruptions and protests in Parliament. "83 days of Manipur violence, horror stories of violence unravels. Freedom fighter's wife burnt alive." India Today reports from Ground Zero. Manipur government seeks report from Assam Rifles on Myanmar intruders in the state. Asked how did 718 Myanmar nationals enter without documents? National Security Advisor Dovalsky meet with top China diplomat. Doval tells China to build border trust. Says India ready to work on border row. Day after rebranding Twitter as X, Elon eyes X to control half of global trade. Musk faces legal hurdles in building X empire. News coming in at the top of the hour. Prime Minister Modi attends BJP Parliamentary Party meeting. Suspensions, slogans and slugfest inside Parliament, and a crucial BJP Parliamentary Party meeting is currently underway. Disruptions, drama and roaring demands in Parliament. Amid that, the Prime Minister is attending a crucial BJP Parliamentary Party meeting this morning inside the Parliament complex. My colleague Aishwarya Paliwal is joining us live this morning. Aishwarya, good morning to you. What is to be the agenda of this meeting? Hello. Aishwarya, are you able to hear me? Okay, we'll try and reconnect with my colleague. My colleague is standing by outside Parliament at the moment, but inside Parliament, that very crucial BJP Parliamentary Party meeting is underway. This is the first BJP Parliamentary Party meeting during this monsoon session. It is a key strategy meeting as far as what is going to be the BJP's flow strategy. We expect that the Prime Minister will in fact address the BJP parliamentarians who are present inside the Parliament complex right now. This, of course, ahead of the session for the day convening. Remember that since the monsoon session of Parliament convened last Thursday, there have been multiple disruptions with the opposition demanding that the Prime Minister make a statement on the floor of both houses on the Manipur crisis. Aishwarya is joining us live right now from outside Parliament. Aishwarya, what is likely to be the agenda of this BJP Parliamentary Party meeting?
Well, one thing, Paulmi, that we have been seeing over the past many days is the fact that the BJP and the top leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party have been coming out and making statements saying that we are not running away from the issue of what's taking place in the state of Manipur. We want to speak about it. In fact, no less than Home Minister Amit Shah also yesterday made a very short statement saying that we will tell the country what exactly is taking place, but you need to allow a debate to take place. You need to allow us to speak, and that is what the central government at the moment is saying. One of the key agendas of today's meeting will be to make sure how to go forward and to make sure that all the bills are passed. In fact, from what we are understanding, some of the leaders, the top leaders of the BJP are also in talks with the top opposition leaders to make sure that the parliament functions. But we are seeing how adamant the opposition is, Paulami, making sure that no less than Prime Minister Narendra Modi comes on the floor of the parliament and makes a statement. But at the moment, Paulami, it looks like that is something that will not happen. The top leaders, however, willing to say of the BJP that we want to debate, but it's the opposition that is now making sure that the parliament remains defunct.
Right. Aishwarya, stay on with us. Now, staying with Parliament, the logjam inside Parliament continues. Opposition parties are adamant on their demand for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's statement on Manipur violence in the Parliament. Now, opposition MPs staged overnight dharna against AAP MP Sanjay Singh's suspension. He was suspended from the Rajya Sabha after he allegedly misbehaved with the chairman. Now, the protesting MPs also demanding Modi's reply in Parliament. Speaking briefly in Lok Sabha, Home Minister Amit Shah requested the opposition netas to allow a discussion on Manipur, saying it was important for the country to know the truth of what's going on in Manipur. Sources revealed to India Today that the centre's strategy to end the deadlock in Parliament is to limit its reply only to Manipur with no mention of violence in opposition states, and that only Home Minister Shah will speak. But with Singh's suspension, that is Sanjay Singh's suspension from the upper house of Parliament, and the opposition's demand for Modi's reply, will the Parliament impasse end?
I am working in a manner using everything under my command to ensure the temple of democracy in the largest democracy. We have decorum, we have discipline. To enforce decorum and discipline, sometimes we have to take recourse to unpalatable situations. But we must never hesitate, because decorum and discipline are connected with our growth, with our reputation, with our prosperity. The moment we take a lenient view, we do not serve well the society. I therefore appeal to you to have zero tolerance for lack of decorum and lack of discipline.
हम सब के अंदर अगर जरा सी भी संवेदना है तो आज जरूरत है उस कारगिल के योद्धा के साथ खड़े होने की। आज जरूरत है मणिपुर की महिलाओं के साथ खड़े होने की, और इसलिए हम लोग ये अपना प्रोटेस्ट, ये अपना आंदोलन जारी रखेंगे बापू की प्रतिमा के आगे। और मैं अभी भी भारत के प्रधानमंत्री से अनुरोध कर रहा हूँ कि आप आइए और सदन में बताइए कि आप कैसे वहाँ पे शांति की बहाली करेंगे। वहाँ तो डबल इंजन की सरकार है, प्रदेश में भी बीजेपी है, देश में भी बीजेपी है, और आपके मुख्यमंत्री खुद कह रहे हैं कि सैकड़ों ऐसी घटनाएं हो चुकी हैं। मतलब इनको शर्म भी नहीं आती कि मुख्यमंत्री खुद से स्वीकार कर रहा है कि ऐसी तो सैकड़ों घटनाएं वहाँ पर हुई है। तो इसके लिए जवाबदेही किसकी है? तो प्रधानमंत्री को सदन में आके जवाब देना चाहिए। पूरा देश उनकी ओर देख रहा है।
सस्पेंशन एक सांसद का निलंबन करना किसी भी एक सिटिंग एमपी को, ये रेयरेस्ट ऑफ द रेयर केसेस में इस्तेमाल किया जाता है। ये वो हथियार है जो कभी कभी इस्तेमाल में लाया जाता है, और ऐसे केसेस में अक्सर इस्तेमाल में लाया जाता है जब मान लीजिए कोई सांसद सदन के भीतर हिंसा करे, साथ ही सांसद पे आक्रमण करे, कोई पुस्तक, कोई किताब, कोई रेजोल्यूशन फाड़ के चेयर की ओर फेंके, माइक तोड़ दे। इस प्रकार की जब कोई हिंसा भरी घटना होती है, उसी केस में सस्पेंशन जैसे हथियार का इस्तेमाल किया जाता है। लेकिन पहली बार देखा गया कल कि एक देश के ज्वलंत मुद्दे पर, मणिपुर जल रहा है, इस मुद्दे पर बहस मांगने के लिए एक सांसद को सस्पेंड कर दिया गया। बहुत दुखद है।
Why Home Minister is not allowing the Prime Minister to come to Parliament? We want Honorable Prime Minister who can give very good speeches across India. Why he is afraid to give speech in Parliament? We are asking for his statement only. We are not asking for his resignation. He is the leader of the Lok Sabha. Therefore, it is Prime Minister who has to come and speak to the MPs. If Prime Minister is not ready to come to speak to the MPs, who else can speak?
क्या सचमुच ये नई नई इमारतें बनाकर आप लोकतंत्र की रक्षा कर पा रहे हो? अगर आप लोकतंत्र के लिए इस प्रकार से नई संसद भवन बनाते क्या प्रधानमंत्री बन गए हो? तो आज मणिपुर के बारे में राज्यसभा में जो हुआ है उसे मैं हंगामा नहीं कहता हूँ। संजय सिंह को जिस तरह से निलंबित किया, सस्पेंड किया, ये लोकतंत्र की या संसद के कौन से कानून में किया है?
हम तो वही चाहते हैं कि वो सदन में आए, मणिपुर पर चर्चा जताए, और प्रधानमंत्री का बयान हम चाहते हैं, क्योंकि उधर लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का इतनी बुरी हालत, 3 महीना तक नेटवर्क बंद है। ये होना नहीं चाहिए। हम चाहते हैं पीस एंड नॉर्मलसी मणिपुर में रेस्टोर हो जाए। इसीलिए प्रधानमंत्री जी को आगे बढ़कर देश में उसको जो ड्यूटीज़ है उसका निभाना है।
जब आप सस्पेंड करते हैं, यू वांट टू थ्रॉटल द वेरी वॉइस ऑफ द पीपल। इसको पहले समझ लेना चाहिए। सो एक आदमी को सस्पेंड करने का नहीं है, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा कर तो डाइल्यूट कर सकते हैं। एक स्पीकर हो या चेयरमैन हो, एक आदमी को टाइम नहीं देते हैं, ये टाइम कम कर देते हैं, या विरोधियों ऑफ मोशन को प्रायोरिटी में नहीं लेते हैं, ये सब चीज़ हो सकता है। लेकिन जब सस्पेंड करते हैं तो हाइट ऑफ दी अपना मिस यूज ऑफ पावर है।
The situation in Manipur continues to remain grim. In another shocking incident, an 80-year-old woman who was the wife of a freedom fighter was burnt alive in Kakching district. The incident took place in the early hours of May 28th, when places like Sirao and the hills saw massive violence and exchange of gunfire. Assuming that the rioters won't harm the elderly lady, the family members hurriedly locked her inside the house and left when the violent mob came. But the miscreants didn't show any mercy. Meanwhile, the women of the Mithai community have started putting barricades and have created temporary bunkers in order to safeguard their territory. These barricades have been put up near the Kuki-dominated areas.
सर, उस दिन आपके गांव में क्या हुआ था? किस हालत में आप अपनी बूढ़ी माँ को उस अवस्था में छोड़कर भागने में मजबूर हो गए थे?
मणिपुर में 3 तारीख में सब मणिपुर में कुकी मिलिटेंट्स और बर्मा का पीटीएफ, मणिपुर का सू और कुकी मिलिटेंट्स जॉयली मणिपुर में 3 तारीख में अटैक करना है। नेक्स्ट मई 20 का 7 का नाइट 1 बजे में शेरो तो ग्राम पंचायत है, ग्राम पंचायत के एरिया सराउंडिंग का और कुकी विलेज में कुकी मिलिटेंट में और 5 साइड में गोली में शेरों में अटैक है। 28 मॉर्निंग 5 AM में और कुकी मिलिटेंट में शेरों घर 366 सब और अग्नि है, घर है।
आप लोग क्या किए थे उस वक्त?
अभी तो मणिपुर गवर्नमेंट ने अभी
तब क्या किए थे जब आग लगाया आपके गांव में? तब क्या किए, किस अवस्था में माँ को छोड़कर?
अभी तो माँ तो मर गया।
तब उस दिन जब हमला हुआ, माँ को क्यों छोड़ कर आए थे? क्या उन्होंने बोला था या फिर वो चल नहीं पा रही थी?
माँ तो मॉर्निंग का और कुकी मिलिटन में आया है। घर भी सपी भी है और घर भी सब अग्नि है, जला दिया।
On that 4 evening, when that accident happened, that ladies walk in the car wash. So when the problem gets started, her mother ring up twice, but she did not pick up the phone. But the last moment, one lady's Métis woman picked the phone. Whether you want your daughter alive or dead, she said to her mother. At that moment, they put up the phone. Later on, we knew that the lady was dead.
I believe they were tortured to death, and there are another girl from your same village, right?
Mm-hmm. The 2 girls worked together in a Gama car wash. So the 2 were killed in the same day.
Both sides across these barbed wire and fencing remain the similar district of the similar state in the same country. This is West Imphal district of Manipur, right behind me, where the hilly terrain begins, which is dominated by Kuki community. Another side dominated by the Methi community. One state, one district divided in 2 largest groups of Manipur who are in a conflict and ethnic clashes that led to the massive violence. Several houses, both the sides have been burned by the community members of each other, have been living over the decades in a brotherhood, all of a sudden turned such enemy, and the relationship turned so bitter that now they are in a war against each other.
इन महिलाओं को इन लोगों को यहाँ पे आना पड़ा क्योंकि शुरुआत उन लोग ने किया। हम लोग तो बोलते हैं उन लोग को शांति से एक साथ रहेंगे, मगर उन लोग ने गोली मारी शुरू किया तो हम लोग को यहाँ पे ड्यूटी निकलना पड़ रहा है सुबह शाम रात को।
लोग को डर नहीं लग रहा है?
हम लोग को डर पहले तो थोड़ा, जब शुरू हुआ था तब तो हम लोग भागा था, थोड़ा बच्चा लोग को लेके भागता है कहीं किसी के घर में इम्फाल में भागते हैं, मगर अभी हम लोग को कुछ डर नहीं लग रहा है। हम भागेंगे तो हमारा घर जल जाएगा, हमारा बच्चा लोग कैसा रहेगा?
A state dividing in the 2 community, the ethnic clashes, and who are at the receiving end? It is the children and the women which are the victim of these ethnic clashes from both this side. But there is another picture to also report, which is the unity and the power, the strength of these women from Methi community. As I pass through this Imphal stretch, which is a particular stretch divides the entire territory between Kuki-dominated territory and the Methis. And what I see here, women have taken charge here on the street, not only guarding their territory, but also maintaining these barriers, these barricades, where every vehicles are being frisked by these women. And the only reason is that they want safety of their families, their children, and these women, despite that many of them have been victim of the violence, they are standing tall against all odds. These women symbolize the power of women in Manipur, that they have also seen violence, they have been victim, but for now it is time to stay united and to protect their family. And this is not the image that we are seeing only in one community, but this is happening at both the sides. But the matter of the fact is that they are divided right after the ethnic violence and the clashes broke out.
The sudden influx of illegal immigrants from Myanmar in Manipur. Over 700 illegal immigrants have Manipur's Chandel district have entered Manipur's Chandel district. Now, government says it's looking into the matter with utmost sensitivity, as the same may have international ramifications. Union Minister Rajkumar Ranjan Singh spoke exclusively to India Today. Listen in.
सर, संसद के अंदर अभी गतिरोध बना हुआ है सरकार और विपक्ष के बीच में मणिपुर को लेकर। अमित शाह जो गृह मंत्री, उन्होंने साफ कहा कि चर्चा के लिए सरकार तैयार है, वो खुद आएंगे उसके लिए। आप कैसे देखते हैं इस गतिरोध को?
हमारा पार्लियामेंट्री माने बिफोर द सेशन
तो सब पार्लियामेंट्री टीम इंक्लूडिंग ऑल पार्टी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को बुलाया और डिस्कस हुआ और उसी में मणिपुर का इशू को उठाने के लिए डिमांड किया। वो तो हमारा पार्लियामेंट्री अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर ने एक्सेप्ट किया, सिर्फ तो टाइमिंग के लिए है। तो फिर बार बार सेशन चालू करने के बाद बार बार डिस्टर्ब कर रहा है, तो हमारा बहुत समय बर्बाद हो गया। नेशन का सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट इशू को डिबेट करना, तो इसको डिस्टर्ब करना ये डेमोक्रेसी का नियम नहीं ही है। तो भारत को चलाने तो व्यवहार से बातचीत करना और आर्गुमेंट करना और डिस्कशन करना, ये तो सॉल्यूशन आने का उपाय है। तो फिर सॉल्यूशन नहीं चाहिए क्या? तो ये मैं पूछना चाहिए।
आप कह रहे हैं कि डिस्कशन होना चाहिए, विपक्ष कह रहा है कि डिस्कशन के लिए हम तैयार हैं, बशर्ते जो डिस्कशन हो वो रूल 267 के अंडर में हो और प्रधानमंत्री खुद आकर दोनों सदनों को इस पूरे मामले को लेकर ब्रीफ करें।
हाँ, वो तो करने के तैयार है हम। तो फिर भी
चाहते हैं प्रधानमंत्री आकर करें और जो रूल है 267 उसके अकॉर्डिंग करें।
हाँ, वो तो करना है, तो थोड़ा समय तो लेना पड़ेगा ना। तो उसके अंदर में हमारा प्रायोरिटी एरिया को ये भी प्रायोरिटी है, फिर भी तो नेशनल इशू को पहले डिस्कशन करना चाहिए, तो डिस्टर्ब मत करना चाहिए इसमें।
News coming in right now. Assam Rifles admit to influx of intruders from Myanmar. Assam Rifles says that 718 Myanmar intruders have entered Manipur over the past 2 days. They blame clashes, in fact, for the illegal immigrants. Manipur government has sought a report from Assam Rifles. India Today has accessed Assam Rifles' letter to the Manipur government. So the Assam Rifles has admitted on paper, on record, that 718 illegal immigrants have intruded into Manipur. Indrajit Kundu, my colleague, is joining us live on this. Indrajit, what more details can you share with us?
Well, there is a report that has been submitted by Assam Rifles in Manipur to the Manipur state administration that over the past 2 days, that is 22nd and 23rd of July, more than 700 refugees from Myanmar have got into India through the Chandel district of Manipur, and it involves 400 adults and around 300 infants, children. That report, of course, has triggered sharp reaction from the Manipur government, with the Manipur Chief Secretary now writing to the Assam Rifles saying that how is it that these refugees have been able to enter Manipur illegally without documents. So the Manipur administration, the Chief Secretary, has now asked Assam Rifles to give advice as to how they can be pushed back the refugee population. At the same time, they have also stated that their biometrics and their identification should be taken down, should be recorded, so that there is no another bid for immigrants to enter the state. So this is a very, very volatile situation and an issue which is extremely sensitive, because you would remember Chief Minister Biren Singh for a long period of time in the past 2 months, ever since the clashes began, has been blaming illegal immigration from across the border from Myanmar as one of the reasons why this entire strife has taken place. That has been one of the narratives. And this report by Assam Rifles, in a sense, has just given fresh impetus to that very narrative, and therefore the Manipur government has taken very stern note of this and has asked Assam Rifles to take some stern action at the border.
Right. Indrajit Kundu reporting there from Mizoram. Thank you so much for joining us with all of those details. We're slipping into a very short break. On the other side, a day after rebranding Twitter as X, Elon eyes X to control half of global trade. Musk faces legal hurdles, though, in building X empire. Details on the other side.
Armed with facts, she takes the news by its horns.
Do you think the future of these students are not hampered?
Fierce, bold and direct. setting the tone for the bigger stories. From every corner and every angle. Expect nothing but the unfiltered truth.
News first, niceties later. Watch me, Nabila Jamal, on India Today. All political parties traveling from different parts.
Armed with facts,
Looking at political back.
she takes the news by its horns.
Do you think the future of these students are not hampered?
Fierce, bold and direct, setting the tone for the bigger stories. From every corner and every angle. Expect nothing but the unfiltered truth.
News first, niceties later. Watch me, Nabila Jamal, on India Today.
He's coming in right now. Beginning of India-China thaw. NSA Doval's key meet with top China diplomat. Meet on the sidelines of Friends of BRICS huddle. Doval tells China to build border trust. He says India is ready to work on border row. Indian side to India-China border standoff. That's the latest that's coming in. Gaurav Sawant, my colleague, is joining me over the phone line right now. Gaurav, tell us a little bit about this meeting between NSA Ajit Doval and his Chinese counterpart on the sidelines of the BRICS NSA's meeting in Johannesburg.
BRICS is an extremely important grouping where India and China both play a very critical role. This is a grouping of Brazil, India, Russia, China and South Africa. It's being held in Johannesburg. And when the national security advisors of India and China met, of course, NSA Ajit Doval met, Wang Yi, member of the Communist Party of China. Wang Yi, incidentally, is former foreign minister of China, but since the current foreign minister of China is missing, he's also filling in that role and also, multiple other roles here. Now, they've talked about a thaw or at least a forward movement, but India's reiterated the point that India and China must fully resolve the situation at the LAC and restore peace and tranquility in the border areas. That's the only way normalcy can be returned. Now, China is talking about bringing a mechanism. China is talking about a win-win for both. And that clearly is very different from what India wants, because India wants restoration of April-May 2020 scenario, a position that you get back to pre-Galwan, pre-Pengong So situation, especially on the two friction points where the tension remains, Polemy. So there is some talk of forward movement, especially when India is also the chair of the G20 this year.
All right. Gaurav, thank you for bringing us all of those details. More news that's coming in right now. A day after rebranding Twitter as X, Elon Musk unveils ambitious business blitz. Musk eyes X to control half of global trade. Musk faces legal hurdles, though, in building X empire. Meta, Microsoft own rights on letter X. Musk faces a slew of possible lawsuits. So while, of course, Elon Musk is eyeing the possibility of owning half of global trade, he faces a lot of legal hurdles.
Essentially, if done right, the X would serve people's financial needs to such a degree that over time it would become, I don't know, maybe half of the global financial system.
Wow.
Or some big number.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the number is, but pretty big. So it would be by far the biggest sort of financial institution. But like I said, not really in the way that people are used to thinking about banks.
Mm-hmm.
Just the most efficient database for the thing that is money. Like I said, like least amount of fraud. Everything's real time.
We're slipping into a very short break. Coming up next, nature's fury rocks Karnataka. Rivers overflow, houses submerged. Torrential rain wreaks havoc. India's IT city flooded once again. Details on the other side.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Welcome back. News that's coming in right now. Mizo group stage mega protests. That's the latest that's coming in from the capital of Aizawl. A huge crowd of protesters, in fact, have gathered in Aizawl, all dressed in black in protest. In fact, today the influential Young Mizo Association has called for a mega protest march in the capital city of Aizawl in solidarity with the Kuki-Zo community in neighbouring Manipur. Also, what my colleague on the ground, Indrajit, is reporting is that the Chief Minister of Mizoram, Zoramthanga, is likely to join the protest as well. Indrajit Kundu, my colleague, is joining us live right now from Aizawl. Indrajit, over to you. A huge group of protesters have gathered in Aizawl, the capital city.
Well, absolutely. Paulomi, as expected, there is a ripple effect of what's happening in Manipur, a direct bearing on, neighboring Mizoram, because we've seen how over the past 2 months there has been a lot of solidarity from the Mizo people for, the Kuki community on the other side of the border in Manipur. And today there is this solidarity march that has been called by the Young Mizo Association, the most influential body of Mizo body here in the state. You can see support of Zo ethnic tribes of Mizoram is what they're saying. And women in large number, men and women in large number have gathered here with posters and placards in their hand, all dressed in black, all dressed in black as a mark of protest and also as a mark of, solidarity with their, with the Kuki community. In fact, a lot of people are wearing these traditional, what is it called, Puan? They're wearing this scarf, and people generally wear this scarf during somebody's death when they're showing solidarity and respect to the deceased. So there is huge anger, a lot of posters in their hand. There are people who are So they're saying separate administration. So the kind of demands that we've seen from the Kuki community in Manipur, people here are echoing similar sentiments. There is somebody who has a Hindi placard in his hand where he's saying the Prime Minister should speak up. Modi ji, ab awaaz uthao. So this is similar to what the opposition parties in Parliament are asking right now, because they're demanding that Prime Minister Narendra Modi come to the floor of the House, in both the houses, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, and give out a statement. Of course, we know that at the start of the monsoon session, the Prime Minister did speak out on the horrific video that has surfaced, and the Prime Minister did condemn it. However, the opposition is demanding that there should be an overall statement from the Prime Minister on the overall situation in Manipur over the past 2 months, where more than 150 people have lost their lives. And today you can see this massive protest, and this is just a start, because the protest is supposed to start at 11 o'clock. That's when the Solidarity March will take place. There will be rallies coming in from across Aizawl, and they will be meeting here, and then the procession would begin. So we can clearly expect that Aizawl today would come to a complete standstill with the biggest protest. You could remember in Churachandpur there was a massive protest that was called initially on the first week of May, and that further triggered the clashes, which is still continuing for the past 2 weeks. Here, of course, the police here has taken measures so that there is no untoward incident, no incidents of violence. There has been calls for restraint from all sides. There were, of course, reports of some Meitei groups, Meitei people leaving Manipur, but there was a minuscule Meitei community in Aizawl who actually, or in Mizoram, who actually left for Manipur and other places in Assam's Dhubri and Silchar. However, people here out on the streets, expressing their anger. Let's speak to a few of them. Ma'am, first tell me, you're out on the street. What is the message that you want to send out? What message do you want to send out? Who wants to speak? What message do you want to send out? What message do you want to send out? Okay, so Manipur honor humanity. So they're saying they don't want to speak much, but this is the message. Manipur honor humanity. Of course, the videos that have come out from Manipur that went viral last week has shamed entire humanity. People across the country have to hang their heads in shame with the kind of videos that have come out of Manipur, and it has triggered a very, very sharp reaction. Mizoram is no different. They share the border, not just border with Manipur, but they also share, common culture, common ethnicity, and therefore, as you can see, people are saying honor humanity. Please let the Mizo people, can I see this one? Mizo people have the right to self-defense and duty, and self-defense is what one of the placards say. There are other placards. Stop attacking our tribal brethren in Manipur. So you can understand some sort of a tribal solidarity is on the showcase right now here in the Northeast, especially in Mizoram, which does share some sort of a commonality between the population here in Mizoram and on the other side of the border, especially in the hill districts of Manipur.
Absolutely. So the ripple effect being felt in people there in Mizoram standing up in solidarity with the people of Manipur and the violence that they've been witnessing and being subjected to victims of since May this year. Indrajit, thank you so much for bringing us that live report from Aizawl. News coming in right now amid stormy Parliament session. India Netas, that is the India Alliance Netas chair, key huddle In fact, opposition netas are meeting before the parliament session today. Remember, there's already a BJP Parliamentary Party meeting which is currently underway inside Parliament. And meanwhile, here are opposition netas on your screens from the 26 parties that in fact came together to form the India Alliance, who are also strategizing ahead of the session for the day commencing. So expect a very stormy session over there. Expect opposition to continue to mount pressure on the centre, demanding a statement from Prime Minister on the Manipur crisis. Rahul Gautam is joining me with the phone line right now. Rahul, we can see pictures coming in from that opposition huddle which is currently underway inside Parliament. In fact, we can see Raghav Chadha speaking very animatedly in that meeting, clearly because the AAP has lost one member of Parliament during this session, with Sanjay Singh being suspended for the rest of the session.
Well, this is a very crucial meeting that is happening, at the office of LOP Rajya Sabha, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, and in fact, all the parties as part of opposition camp are participating in this meeting. Now, remember, this is third meeting in less than 4 days of Parliament session, and this only shows that how opposition is now recalibrating its strategy as to how they can corner the government, on issue of Manipur. We've been informed that the suspension of AAP MP Rajya Sabha, Mr. Sanjay Singh, is also likely to be discussed, among the parties, and then they're going to take up the same issue with the chair as well. We all know that how the four managers of the government are also trying to reach out to the opposition camp in order to break the impasse which is prevailing in both the houses of the parliament. But the opposition camp has made it very clear that nothing short of a prime minister's statement would be enough on this issue, given the fact that this issue demands immediate attention from the highest office of the country, and therefore they will be insisting again that Prime Minister should come and address both the houses of the Parliament. On the other hand, the government has already made it very clear that they're ready to discuss this issue, and a senior minister would be briefing both the houses. So you can expect that the opposition would be recalibrating its strategy. At the same time, they would be bringing in more issues to corner the government in this monsoon session.
Okay. Rahul Gautam there reporting from Delhi on that very crucial meeting which is currently underway inside the LOP's office in Parliament. Rahul Gautam, of course, continues to be with us. Rahul, this is going to be extremely crucial because both sides seem very adamant on their positions. The government is very clear that they're not going to allow for a statement of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister will make no statement on Manipur inside the House. It will only be the Home Minister who will reply to any discussion. Again, the opposition, of course, insisting that suspend all business immediately, hold a discussion. But before that, the Prime Minister has to make a statement. So the logjam likely to continue. Okay, we'll try and reconnect with my colleague Rahul Gautam. Those pictures, of course, on your screens of the two meetings that are currently underway inside Parliament. On the right-hand side of your screens, you can see Prime Minister there walking in earlier this morning for the BJP Parliamentary Party meeting. That meeting is still underway. We expect that the Prime Minister would have a few words of advice for the BJP parliamentarians ahead of the session commencing. This is, of course, a meeting that happens every week as far as the BJP strategy for the week is concerned during Parliament session. This, of course, is the first such meeting that's happening during the monsoon session of Parliament, where the BJP, of course, will strategize as to how they will counter the opposition as it continues to disrupt proceedings in both houses of Parliament, demanding a statement from the Prime Minister on the Manipur violence. And remember, the opposition, of course, on the other hand, is adamant on their demand that the Prime Minister make a statement. So on both sides, Rahul, with both of them digging their heels in as to how they stand as far as the discussion on the Manipur crisis is concerned, unlikely that there's going to be any resolution anytime soon.
Rightly pointed out that it seems that both opposition and treasury benches, they are sticking to their demands. On one hand, opposition camp is insisting that Prime Minister should come and brief both the House and apprise them about what is the present situation in Manipur and what steps our government has taken in order to mitigate the situation. On the other hand, the government is saying that it is ready to take up the Manipur issue, provided there is decorum and order in the House.
And in fact, they are also accusing opposition of running away from discussion merely because of the fact that their stance would be exposed in states like Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and West Bengal. So clearly, opposition and treasury benches are holding the ground firmly, and obviously this is resulting in an impasse between opposition and government because of the fact that this is the fourth day, and it is expected that today also we're going to witness ruckus in both the houses as opposition is going to come armed with issues like Manipur, women's safety, and you can expect that opposition would be again raising these issues. On the other hand, the government is still trying to bring consensus and trying to reach out to the opposition camp, but it seems that
okay, Rahul, just hold on, because we're getting information that's coming out of that meeting that the opposition is holding right now in the LOP's office in Parliament. The opposition is going to consistently insist on a demand for the Prime Minister's statement in Parliament. So the opposition has decided, no relenting, the Prime Minister must speak on Manipur in Parliament. So while, of course, the government has stated very clearly the Prime Minister will make no statement, the Home Minister will reply to any discussion as far as Manipur is concerned. The demand that the India Alliance is likely to continue to insist upon and make in both houses of Parliament is that the Prime Minister must speak on Manipur. Rahul.
Absolutely, and this is what, leading to stalemate between opposition and treasury benches. The government has already made it very clear that it is ready to discuss Manipur issue, given the gravity and seriousness of the, of this issue, provided there is decorum and order in the House, and Amit Shah, who's the Home Minister, would be briefing both the houses. However, opposition has rejected this idea. They are insisting that Prime Minister should come and address both the houses and must tell as to what steps have been taken to mitigate the situation, how it's going to initiate a dialogue between all the stakeholders. So clearly, you can say that this, this logjam is only continuing. And as I was telling you earlier also, today is the fourth day of this monsoon session, and it's the third meeting which is happening at this point of time of opposition camp, where they're recalibrating their strategy. In fact, Rajnath Singh had earlier called Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge also as to how they can, bring opposition on board when it comes to, transacting business in Parliament. But Mallikarjun Kharge specifically conveyed to government that unless and until Prime Minister comes and briefs both the houses about Manipur, they are not going to come on board, or there will not be a consensus between the two parties. So clearly it seems that that monsoon session is also heading towards a complete washout, as we have seen in previous sessions as well.
That's unfortunate. We're expecting, as Rahul is pointing out, Rahul, stay on with us, that this could possibly mean a washout of this session. Now, the government, of course, realizes, Rahul, that this is going to be a demand that the opposition is not going to step away from anytime soon in terms of having the Prime Minister make a statement on Manipur in Parliament. So it is already strategizing as to how it wants to see its legislative business through this session, especially because it's got 31 bills listed to be tabled in both houses of Parliament, especially the ordinance, which is extremely crucial for the government, the ordinance, the bill converting the ordinance, the Delhi Services Ordinance in Parliament as well.
This has always been an allegation of the opposition camp that how government has been bulldozing its agenda and how bills are being passed without any discussion on deliberations. And in fact, as we are witnessing this stalemate, continuing this logjam, only escalating between the two, the two parties. It shows that the opposition has decided they're now not going to relent from their demands. We have to really understand that the opposition has conveyed it to the treasury benches that the onus to run the government lies on the part of the government, and therefore they should concede the ground and should give space to opposition. Given the fact that both opposition and government wants to discuss, the issue of Manipur, but how it will be discussed and who is going to be addressing both the houses. This is the main question, or this is the grey area which is leading to this stalemate. Clearly, the government also knows that it will not be able to run the house without the help and assistance of opposition. Therefore, they are also trying to reach out and sending fillers to the opposition leaders. But as I was saying earlier, also Mallikarjun Kharge has specifically conveyed, and in fact, it has been again reaffirmed with this today's meeting that Prime Minister must come and speak and apprise leaders about the current situation in Manipur and must tell as to how is going to improve the situation, how is going to initiate the dialogue between the stakeholders, and how in fact, they are also insisting for a all-party delegation to be sent without further delay. So these are the main demands of the opposition to which they are sticking, and it seems that at this point of time there is no solution in sight as far as government is concerned.
Okay, Rahul Gautam, they're bringing us all those updates from that opposition huddle which is currently underway inside Parliament, inside the LOP's office. Shortly, the session is to begin. Expect stormy scenes again. In fact, monsoon fury continues. A massive landslide has occurred in Andheri Rambagh society in Mumbai, where 4 houses have been reduced to debris and 200 people in the society have been impacted. Last night, in fact, a part of a mountain fell on 4 houses at the time when all people were sleeping in their homes. 4 fire engines and Mumbai police personnel are present at the spot. Fortunately, no casualties have been reported in this incident. An orange alert has been issued in Mumbai, Pune, Raigad and Kolhapur today. Whereas heavy rains continue to lash parts of Uttarakhand. The road near Nandprayag and Pusari on the Badrinath National Highway has been blocked due to debris. Meanwhile, in Karnataka, Dakshin Kannada is severely impacted. Images of students passing through knee-level water to attend pre-university exams are making rounds on the internet. Schools in several districts, including Uttar Kannada, Kodagu, Udupi and Dakshin Kannada, are shut today.
सबसे पहले आपको दिखाना चाहते हैं ये जो रेजिडेंशियल सोसाइटी है इसके पीछे एक बड़ी चट्टान है। देर रात इस चट्टान का एक टुकड़ा गिर गया और गिरा तो गिरा इस रेजिडेंशियल सोसाइटी के पिछले हिस्से पे गिर गया। अब आप अंदाजा लगाएं, देर रात को आप अपने घर में निश्चिंत सो रहे हैं, तभी अचानक एक बहुत जोर से आवाज आती है और इससे पहले कि आप समझ पाए कि आखिर क्या हुआ, ये हाल हो जाता है। दूसरे घर में क्या हाल हुआ है ये आप देखिए। किसी को अंदाजा नहीं था कि अचानक चट्टान का एक हिस्सा गिर के रेजिडेंशियल सोसाइटी पे आ सकता है। वो तो लोग खुशनसीब रहे कि लोग जैसे ही यह आवाज आई, जैसे ही चट्टान गिरी तो वो अपने घरों से भागकर बाहर की तरफ आए। मौसम विभाग का फिर भी कहना है कि आने वाले दिनों में अब क्योंकि मॉनसून अपने चरम पे है, बारिश और ज्यादा तेज हो सकती है। ऐसे में मुंबई वासियों को सतर्क रहने की जरूरत है। कैमरा पर्सन साहिल चौहान के साथ पंकज उपाध्याय, मुंबई।
Let's take a look at the situation in monsoon hit areas across the country. Due to heavy monsoon rains and floods in Gujarat, a building has collapsed in Junagadh. Several people were trapped and rescue operation was carried out to save them. The old highway from Ransnala to Jhalogi has been completely damaged due to excessive rainfall in Himachal Pradesh's Mandi. A section of the Kalka-Shimla highway was damaged due to heavy rains in the Solan district. The traffic has been allowed from one side of the highway. Heavy rain slashed Hyderabad city and several areas experienced waterlogging. DRF and GHMC officials worked in areas to clear the waterlogging. Slipping into a short break, coming up next, filmmaker Sandeep Singh shelves film on Tipu Sultan amid threats. Exclusive interview after this break.
Forecast now. Delhi, maximum 37 and minimum 30 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 27 and minimum 25 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 35 and minimum 27 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 21 and minimum 19 degrees. Chennai, maximum 27 and minimum 25 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 25 and minimum 22 degrees.
News coming in right now. Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court acquits former Haryana Minister Gopal Goyal Kanda in air hostess Geetika Sharma's suicide case. Geetika, a former air hostess who was earlier employed with Kanda's MDLR Airlines, was found dead on August 5, 2012 at her Ashok Vihar residence in northwest Delhi. Gopal Kanda has now been acquitted by the Rouse Avenue Court in Delhi. Anisha Mathur is joining us over the phone line for more details. Anisha, what more can you tell us? What has the court said?
Well, the court has simply pronounced the judgment as acquitted of all charges. We are getting updates from the lawyers. They said that he's been acquitted of all charges. The order sheet, of course, will come very shortly. But at the moment, what I can tell you is that Gopal Kanda has been acquitted. Remember, he had been accused in the abetment of suicide case initially in 2012 when the matter had come up. He had also been accused of rape, but those charges were dropped in 2013. And very shortly, their lawyers are going to be coming out to give a comment to the media. But at the moment, what I can tell you is Gopal Kanda, the Haryana MLA, former Haryana minister who had been accused, who have been charge-sheeted for the abetment of suicide of air hostess Geetika Sharma, has for now been acquitted of all charges. Back to you.
Okay, so Gopal Kanda has now been acquitted. You're waiting for the order copy at the moment. Can you tell us a little bit more about the case against him, Anisha? Okay, we'll try and reconnect with my colleague Anisha, who's reporting on the court proceedings. But that's the latest update that's coming in from Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court, which has acquitted former Haryana Minister Gopal Goyal Kanda in the air hostess Geetika Sharma's suicide case. Geetika, a former air hostess who was earlier employed with Kanda's MDLR Airlines, was found dead on August 5, 2012 at her Ashok Vihar residence in northwest Delhi. Now, a court has acquitted Gopal Kanda in the abetment to suicide case. Anisha is back with us over the phone line. Anisha, while you wait for that order copy to find out the details of that verdict, can you brief our viewers a little bit more about the case against Kanda?
Well, remember in 2012, the air hostess Geetika Sharma's suicide case had shocked the country as the then young woman had committed suicide, claiming that Gopal Kanda, who is a minister in the Haryana government, is an MLA who owned the airline, had sexually exploited her a lot and pressured her. The allegations were also against his associate and the MD of the airline, Aruna Chadha, saying that she had been pressuring Geetika Sharma into maintaining a relationship with Kanda. There were serious allegations, and Geetika Sharma's suicide note had specifically mentioned both names as having been having pressured her, having exploited her. Her family, Geetika Sharma's family, had also been devastated as her mother passed away very shortly after this particular case had come to light. And today we are seeing that the Rouse Avenue Special Court has acquitted Gopal Kanda of all charges. We are still waiting to get a detailed copy of the order to find out what exactly is it that the court has said. But for now, Gopal Kanda, the former Haryana minister, former MLA, has been acquitted in the abetment of suicide case. Remember, the rape charges against him, which had been framed by the trial court back in 2012, back in 2013, had been dropped on orders of the High Court. High Court had said that you cannot frame charges against Kanda for rape. But even post that, Geetika's family had been trying desperately to ensure that this case goes through and that Gopal Kanda and Aruna Chadha are punished for the suicide and what happened to the life of young Geetika Sharma. Back to you.
Okay, so Anisha, just stay on with us. Those are images of Geetika Sharma, who was an employee with MDLR Airlines, Kanda's airline, and she, in fact, very tragically had committed suicide, had died by suicide in 2012. Let's listen in to Gopal Kanda's lawyer.
Faced a lot of problems for all of 11 years. He has done nothing. And the trial he has faced for 11 years together. It's a very miserable. And we were hopeful for the trial court, and we got acquitted. Faced a lot of problems for all of 11 years. He has done nothing. And the trial he has faced for 11 years together. It's a very miserable. And we were hopeful for the trial court, and we got acquitted.
So that is what the lawyer has to say, that Kanda has faced a lot of trials and tribulations because of this ongoing case. Kanda, of course, was standing next to the lawyer but did not speak with the media at the moment. But the lawyer, of course, informing that Kanda has been acquitted of the charges that were leveled against him. So those images, of course, of Gopal Kanda in court earlier today. We're slipping into a very short break. Stay tuned. News and updates will continue on the other side.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 37 and minimum 30 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 27 and minimum 25 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 35 and minimum 27 degrees. Bangalore, maximum.
You are watching India Today.
Hello, very good morning. You're watching India Today TV. I'm Sneha Mordani. Let's get started with the top stories in this edition first. Crucial BJP party meeting underway in Parliament. The Prime Minister attends the meeting amidst disruptions and protests in Parliament. "83 days of Manipur violence, horror stories of violence unravels. Freedom fighters' wife burnt alive." India Today reports from Ground Zero. Manipur government seeks report from Assam Rifles and Myanmar. Intruders in the state has asked how did 718 Myanmar nationals enter without documents. NSA Doval ski meeting with top China diplomat. Doval tells China to build border trust as India ready to work on border controversy. Day after rebranding Twitter as X, Elon eyes X to control half of global trade. Mars faces legal hurdles in building ex-empire. A top story cutting across live to proceedings in the House that have just begun. Let's take a look.
Your seat. Go to your seat. Go to your seat. Honorable members, please take your seat. Honorable members, please take your seat. 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 Honorable members, kindly, please take your seat. Take your seat. Take your seat. Take your seat. But take your seat. Take your seat. Take your seat. Take your seat. Tiruchi ji, take your seat. Take your seat. Take. मुझे ये मेरी कमजोरी है, मुझे डांटना आता नहीं है। But. Can we go through the routine business first? One second. What is your point of order? Precisely, Mr. Chadda, give your point of order.
I'll be very precise.
Not a description.
सर, पहला मेरा बिंदु ये है
संसद की गरिमा को बनाए रखें। आप सदन नहीं चलाना चाहते, प्रश्नकाल नहीं चलाना।
सदस्य को आम आदमी पार्टी के एक साथी संजय सिंह को सस्पेंड करने का जब मोशन मूव किया गया और आपने उस मोशन को वोटिंग के लिए कहा, तो मैं आपके समक्ष खड़ा था और मैंने डिवीजन मांगी। सत्ता पक्ष के पास आंकड़े नहीं थे, विपक्ष के पास आंकड़े थे। मैंने कहा डिवीजन, मैंने मांगी कि आप डिवीजन दीजिए, मतदान हो और मतदान के अनुसार तय हो कि सदस्य को सस्पेंड करना चाहिए कि नहीं करना चाहिए। पॉइंट नंबर 1। पॉइंट नंबर 2 सर, इस सदन के भीतर ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन, सुन लीजिए सर।
One second. Take your seat. You will have to.
सर, मेरे को खत्म करने दीजिए।
One second. You will have to understand what is meant by a point of order. Raise your point of order. That has to be contemporaneous to the situation in the House.
Sir, that is the prevailing situation.
No.
This is the prevailing situation.
You see, you are a young member. You will have to find guidance from seniors.
Sir,
this book. One second.
Sir, now I seek division right now on the suspension of Sanjay Singh.
I
seek division right now on the suspension of Sanjay Singh. Sir, right now, this book doesn't differentiate between a young member or an old member, sir. This book doesn't differentiate between a young or an old member.
On the table, Shri Krishan Pal Gujar. चौधरी।
माननीय सभापति जी, मैं आज की संशोधित कार्यसूची में मेरे नाम के सामने वर्णित कागजात आपकी अनुमति से सदन के पटल पर रखता हूं।
सर, एसपी सिंह बघेल।
महोदय, मैं आज की पुनरीक्षित कार्यसूची में मेरे नाम के आगे संख्या 1 के आगे हिंदी और अंग्रेजी कागजात सदन के पटल पर रखने की आपकी अनुमति चाहता हूँ।
डॉक्टर भगवत करार।
Honorable Chairman sir, with your kind permission, I rise to lay the papers mentioned against my name in the revised list of business for today.
Dr. Bharati Praveen Pawar.
Honorable Chairman sir, with your permission, I rise to lay on the table of the House papers mentioned against my name in today's revised list of business. Thank you.
Shri Shantanu Thakur. Dr. Mahendra Bhai Munspra.
I wish to lay out the table of the House papers mentioned in today's revised list of business. Thank you, sir.
Reports of the department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Energy, Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi.
Sir, with your kind permission, I wish to lay the copy of each of the following reports, Hindi and English version of the Standing Committee on Energy, as listed against my name in today's revised list of business. Number 1, 36 report of the action taken by the government on the observation recommendations contained in the 20th report of the 17th Lok Sabha of the Committee on the subject of tidal power development in India. Second, 37th report on the action taken by the government on the observation recommendation contained in the 21st report 17th Lok Sabha of the Committee on the subject of the financial constraint in the renewable energy sector. Third, 30th report on the action taken by the government in the observation recommendation contained in the 27th report 17th Lok Sabha of the Committee of the subject evaluation of the wind energy in India.
Of the department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on External Affairs, Dr. Ashok Kumar Mittal.
Sir, with your kind permission, I rise to lay on the table a copy in English and Hindi of the 22nd report of the department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on External Affairs, 17th Lok Sabha, on India's neighborhood first policy.
Statement of the department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Labour, Textiles and Skill Development, Shri Naresh Bansal.
आपकी अनुमति से मैं अपने विभाग श्रम, वस्त्र और कौशल विकास संबंधी संसदीय स्थायी समिति के निम्नलिखित प्रतिवेदनों में अंतर्विष्ट समुक्तियों सिफारिशों पर सरकार द्वारा आगे की गई कार्रवाई को दर्शाने वाले विवरणों की एक-एक प्रति अंग्रेजी और हिंदी में सभा पटल पर रखता हूं। धन्यवाद।
Sir, with your kind permission. Sir, with your kind permission. Today's revised list of business at item number 2D. Sir, I rise to lay the Hindi and English version of the report number 66, 67, 68 of the public account. Randeep bhai, please. 68 of the Public Accounts Committee 2023-24 as listed against my name in today's list of business at serial number 2D. Sir, मणिपुर के ऊपर चर्चा बहुत जरूरी है और वो होनी चाहिए सर।
माननीय सभापति महोदय, मैं वित्त मंत्रालय की अनुदान मांगों 2023-24 के संबंध में विभागीय संबंधित वित्त संबंधित संसदीय स्थायी समिति के 55वें प्रतिवेदन के अंतर्विष्ट सिफारिशें समयुक्तियों के कार्यान्वयन की स्थिति के संबंध में वक्तव्य देता हूं।
ठाकुर।
Chairman sir, I rise to lay on the table of the House the paper mentioned against my name in today's revised list of the business. Thank you, sir.
Honorable members, I have received 51 notices. Honorable members, I have received 51 notices under Rule 267. Before I read out the names, an honorable member yesterday had very rightly pointed out that 267 has to take precedence over 176. A very proper input was rendered by Derek O'Brien. We will abide by that. It's a good, healthy practice. We all are engaged in learning. He made a very good, intelligent point that has been agreed. I am taking 267 earlier to 176. There are 51 notices under Rule 267. Dr. John Britas to discuss the situation prevailing in Manipur. There are 50 such notices. I am reading out the names. Shri Binoy Vishwam, Shri Pramod Tiwari, Shri Mallikarjun Khadge, Shri R. Girirajan, Professor Manoj Kumar Jha, Dr. K. Keshav Rao, Shri K. R. Suresh Reddy, Shri Jairam Ramesh, Ms. Dola Sen, Shri Abdul Wahab, Shri Tiruchi Shiva, Dr. Kani Moji NVN Somu, Shri M. Sanmugam, Srimati Priyanka Chaturvedi, Srimati Ranjit Ranjan, Shri K.R.N. Rajesh Kumar, Shri B. Partha Sardi Reddy, Shri Sushil Kumar Gupta, Shri Alamaram Karim, Shri Jawahar Sarkar, Shri Imran Pratap Gadi, Shri Anil Prasad Hegde, Shri Sanjay Raut, Shri Sandeep Kumar Pathak, Shri B. Lingaya Yadav, Shri Joginpalli Santosh Kumar, Dr. Ami Yaznik, Shri Raghav Chadda, Shri Shakti Singh Gohil, Shri Josh K. Mani, Dr. L. Hanumanthaya, Shrimati Mahua Maji, Ms. Susmita Sen, Shri Derek O'Brien, Shri Mohammad Nadim Al Haq, Dr. Shantanu Sen, Shri Saket Gokhale, Shri Rajiv Shukla, Shrimati Shanta Chetri, Shri Sandosh Kumar P, Shri Javed Ali Khan, Shrimati Vandana Chauhan, Professor Ram Gopal Yadav, Shri Neeraj Dangi, Shri J.B. Mather Isam, Shri Sayyid, Shri Akhilesh Prasad Singh, Shri P. Wilson, Shri V. Shiv Sadhan. We have another notice, honorable members, from Shri Abdul Wahab to discuss issues related to Gyanvapi Mosque. Honorable members have demanded, by way of 267 notices, discussion on the ongoing situation of violence and unrest in Manipur. Shri Abdul Wahab has also requested to discuss issues related to Gyanvapi Mosque. Honorable members in this regard would recollect, on 20th of July 2023, I had already given a ruling that the notices for short duration discussion received regarding violence in Manipur are admitted, and the leader of the House, Shri Piyush Goyal, had agreed for discussion on this issue. Since discussion on this issue has already been agreed by the government, I am unable to accede to the request. The other notice of Shri Abdul Wahab is not in order, as it fails to fulfill the requirements of the rule, and hence the same cannot be entertained. Honorable members, 3 notices under Rule 176 for short duration discussion have been received. The same are Shri Ghanshyam Tiwari, concern over crime and atrocities against women in the state of Rajasthan. Dr. Kirodilal Meena, concern over crime and atrocities against women in the state of Rajasthan. Srimati Ramila Ben Bechar Bhai Bara, concerns over atrocities against women in the state of Chhattisgarh. Honorable members, I will take up the matter now, raised with permission.
Ready for discussion on this. Sir, the government is ready for discussion on the 176 notices on the atrocities against women and children in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, which you have just alluded to. Government is ready for a discussion in both these issues also, because all over the country, if there is a crime against women, if there is a crime against children, जिस प्रकार का दुर्व्यवहार आज हम देश भर के अलग अलग इलाकों में देख रहे हैं, गंभीर समस्या है, संवेदनशील विषय, और सरकार इसके लिए तैयार है। इसमें कोई राजनीतिकरण करने का कोशिश ना करे। मैं समझता हूँ ये विषय राजनीति के परे है। हम सब ने बड़ी गंभीरता से, बड़े संवेदनशील तरीके से इन विषयों के ऊपर चर्चा करनी चाहिए, और सभी राज्यों में जो ये समस्या चल रही है, सभी राज्य सरकारों ने भी इसकी गंभीरता से संज्ञान लेना चाहिए। तो मैं चाहता हूं कि आप इन दोनों विषयों पे भी, राजस्थान और छत्तीसगढ़ पे जो दो आपके अलग अलग नोटिसेस आए, इसके ऊपर भी आप शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन डिस्कशन शेड्यूल करें, रखें। सरकार इसके लिए तैयार है।
Mr. P. Chidambaram,
Sir,
please take your seat.
In your opening remarks, you ruled, and if I may say with respect rightly, that 267 will take precedence over any other rule.
No, I didn't say that. I said I am beholden to Mr. Derek O'Brien for having pointed this out yesterday.
And rightly you said, rightly.
And it had a rational impact, because under Rule 267, you can seek suspension of 176 also.
Yes.
So preceding 176.
Yeah, you said rightly.
And I said we all learn. So I give him the credit.
You said rightly. You said rightly. Rightly 267 will precede 167, 176. Having said that, today there are 51 motions under Rule 267. How can you rule that out and start a discussion under 176? Today, 267 is fresh today. 51 fresh notices. Today, Rule 267 must take precedence. So 267 discussion must start over 176. Today.
Honorable members, one second. Honorable members, Mr. Chidambaram, one second. Take your seat. Mr. Tiwari, take your seat. Please, take your seat. Mr. Chidambaram, Honorable, one second. Please, sit down. Better. You see, honorable members,
The Prime Minister has taken the opposition on, talking about the fact that there never has been such a directionless opposition. Meanwhile, proceedings in the House also have been adjourned for the time being. Lok Sabha has been adjourned amid the ruckus that we had seen inside Parliament a few moments ago. In fact, with the members also raising their points about a discussion inside the House, while the government pressed for discussion on the situation not just in Manipur but in other states like Rajasthan as well, is what Minister Piyush Goyal in fact said a few moments ago. There should be a short duration discussion on crimes against women in any part of the country, is what Minister Piyush Goyal just said. I'm just going to go straight across to my colleague Paulami Saha for more details on that. The government is combative here, Paulami, clearly saying that Why just Manipur? Why not the other states? We have to discuss the issue of women's safety in other states like Rajasthan, which we know is opposition ruled.
That's right. In fact, notices were given by BJP members of parliament today in the Rajya Sabha. Of course, we saw the proceedings of the Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha, of course, was adjourned within minutes of convening for the day. In the Rajya Sabha, we saw MPs who had given notices to discuss incidents of crimes against women in the states of Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. And then you saw, in fact, Piyush Goyal stand up and say that the government is ready to discuss these matters.
मुझे बता दीजिए उनके दिल में कोई भी सत्ता में आने की कुवत है क्या? सत्ता में आने के लिए जिम्मेवारी चाहिए, सत्ता में आने के लिए प्रेरणा चाहिए, सत्ता में आने के लिए देश में आशा जगाना चाहिए। इनका रिकॉर्ड बस वही है, कुछ नहीं हो सकता और जनता इनको चाहती नहीं, तो रहने दीजिए। अब उनको एक बात मैं भी आज कह देता हूँ, नोट कर लीजिए, जब 24 में हम लोग मिलेंगे ना रिजल्ट के बाद, तो उनकी संख्या और कम रहेगी। आपको उनके लक्षण से कोई
Heard from Ravi Shankar Prasad. I'm going to go across once again to my colleague Amit Shah, getting asked those details as to what really has been said by the government. They're clearly in no mood to relent. Polmi.
Absolutely. In fact, the Prime Minister today, tore into the opposition as well during that BJP Parliamentary Party meeting where the opposition, he said, was directionless completely. He said just adding India to your name or calling yourself India doesn't mean much because the East India Company had India in its name as well. Indian Mujahideen had Indian in its name as well. So simply just calling yourself India doesn't mean for much. It appears that the opposition and the alliance of 26 parties, he said, is completely dejected, disappointed. They clearly are eyeing to come to power desperately in 2024, but going by their behavior and their attitude, it seems unlikely that it's going to happen for a while. So the Prime Minister there speaking at the BJP Parliamentary Party meeting, tearing into the opposition. Of course, the opposition tried to mount pressure on the centre and the government, again demanding a response from the Prime Minister on the Manipur crisis, also demanding that a discussion be held as per the rule that they've been suggesting. The government, of course, is ready for a short duration discussion, but what the opposition wants is that every business of the House should be suspended immediately and Manipur should be discussed. But before that, the Prime Minister should be making a statement in Parliament. In fact, Mallikarjun Kharge, leader of the Congress party, just a short while ago, Congress president, in fact, tweeted about this as well and said that there is a spillover effect that's happening as far as northeastern states are concerned, as far as the crisis in Manipur is concerned, and that is extremely sensitive given that these are border states, and hence the Prime Minister needs to take the country into confidence. He needs to tell the country exactly what is happening in Manipur and no less, but the Prime Minister should be in fact apprising the country about what the current ground situation in Manipur is. So the opposition there continuing to demand that the Prime Minister make a statement on both floors of houses in order to take the country into confidence, but the centre is very clear. They're open for a short duration discussion. In fact, they've stated very clearly, sources have told India today, that as far as the Manipur discussion is concerned, no other opposition ruled states will be brought in. They will just give a clear picture of what's happening in Manipur during that discussion, and it will be the Home Minister who will reply to that discussion, and they're open for a short duration discussion. They've said that the chair in, of course, the Rajya Sabha, the Speaker in the Lok Sabha can schedule that discussion any time. But today, of course, you saw that the BJP, of course, also stood up. Members from the BJP have given notices there to discuss crimes against women in the states of Rajasthan and opposition ruled Chhattisgarh as well. And the government has said that we're ready to discuss the same as well. Though, of course, we're saying that crimes against women across anywhere, in any state of the country, absolutely wrong. It is a very sensitive issue. Should it be politicized? But yes, there are crimes happening against women in other parts of the country as well, and we're willing to discuss the same as well.
Will absolutely be with us. Rahul Gautam is also tracking those details for us very closely from outside Parliament. Just now, what's also on display, Rahul, is the fact that the opposition, and we expected this, are on the same page. The India Alliance as a political bloc has come together. Record number of notices given right now, in fact, in Parliament to discuss the issue of Manipur, around which the opposition is rallying around.
Well, opposition has put it on record that if government is up for smooth functioning of parliament, then Prime Minister must come and brief both the houses of the parliament as to what is the current situation in Manipur and how, the government is going to bring normalcy in the state of Manipur. And this is the main area which has now become a flashpoint between opposition and treasury benches. Opposition has made it very clear that until and unless Prime Minister comes and briefs, parliamentarians about the current situation, this stalemate will only continue. On the other hand, the government has also conveyed to the opposition camp that it is ready to discuss Manipur, provided there is decorum and order in the house. Remember, there has been repeated disruptions happening from both sides, from opposition and treasury benches, which is obviously leading to repeated adjournments. And this is what is only likely to persist, given the fact that opposition has made it very clear that, in fact, when Rajnath Singh, a very senior leader of Modi cabinet, had actually called Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge of the LOP Rajya Sabha and Congress President, Mr. Kharge specifically conveyed it to Rajnath Singh that only a response from Prime Minister would be bringing opposition on board when it comes to running business in Parliament. So clearly, this logjam is only persisting, is only continuing, because both the parties, that is opposition and treasury benches, they are holding their ground very firmly and sticking to their demands. So clearly, it seems that the government would really need to walk an extra mile and reach out to the opposition camp as to how they're going to bring opposition parties on board, because clearly, this session is heading for a complete washout, given the fact that both opposition and government are not relenting, and it seems that this logjam is going to persist in coming days.
All right, I'm going to come back to you, Rahul, and to Paulami for more details on that story that we're tracking very closely from Parliament. Clearly, the opposition is not relenting, and so is the government adamant on their... Okay, now these are pictures coming in of the Prime Minister that you just saw on your screens right now live. Pictures of the Prime Minister in the just concluded parliamentary meeting of the BJP, essentially to discuss what the party and its allies intend to do inside house, the parliamentary party meeting of the Bharatiya Janata Party. The Prime Minister, in fact, spoke in it, and we're getting in details of what he said also. Is basically torn into the opposition India bloc, saying that using the name India isn't going to be benefiting this particular opposition bloc, and they are completely directionless. So we're getting in more details from inside Parliament, and these are pictures from inside Parliament where the BJP's parliamentary party meeting has just concluded. We'll put out these pictures of the Prime Minister with the Defence Minister, in fact, also leaving the venue. Tracking those details closely. For the moment, it's time for a quick commercial break here.
You are watching India Today.
News is about putting people first. Just look at the queues right across. About asking the right questions to those in power. Is money power being used to bring down elected governments? Who will be held accountable for ministerial corruption? It takes no sides.
माँ का दर्द एक दर्द कोई नहीं समझ सकता उस दर्द को.
It reveals, it heals. Angry people came out on the streets.
Is this the kind of justice system we want in this country?
News is all heart and no hatred.
बिल्किस बानो आज क्या कहना चाहेंगी आप?
हमारे साथ जो हुआ है किसी के साथ भी नहीं होना चाहिए.
Experience the news. With me, Rajdeep Sardesai, only on India Today.
quality today. In Delhi, 72. In Mumbai, 48. In Kolkata, 30. In Bangalore, 51. In Chennai, 73. In Hyderabad, 53. Air quality today. In Delhi, 72. In Mumbai, 48. In Kolkata, 30. In Bangalore, 51. In Chennai, 73. In Hyderabad, 53.
You are watching India Today.
Some news just coming in. The Prime Minister has torn into the opposition over ruckus inside Parliament. He's in fact said that the opposition is directionless. Says Indian Mujahideen also misuse India. The Prime Minister has taken a dig at the opposition alliance, saying that the East India Company also had India in its name. This is the sharpest attack amid the din and the ruckus and the logjam that continues in Parliament. Using the word India will not work is what the Prime Minister has said in the parliamentary meeting of the Bharatiya Janata Party. East India Company also had India in its name. What did they do? Indian Mujahideen also uses the word India. They are misusing the word India is what the Prime Minister has said. This is a directionless opposition. BJP's Amit Malviya is now joining us. Mr. Malviya, I want to begin by asking you about what has been said by the Prime Minister in the parliamentary meeting of the Bharatiya Janata Party, where he said using the word India in your political alliance, referring to the India bloc, isn't going to help because even Indian Mujahideen has the word India in it.
Well, that's a fact. And merely changing your name does not change the character of the people who are part of the alliance. Like the Prime Minister said in the meeting, which is being referred to by your channel, the word Indian is used by Indian Mujahideen, it was also used by East India Company, and both of them did not have the interests of India in their minds. One wanted to ravage India, the other wanted to plunder India, and opposition perhaps wants to do both. Okay. And therefore, for them to seek solace in the fact that they now have a new name really reeks of a desperate situation. The fact that UPA had become notorious, it was seen as a corrupt alliance, and therefore they had to acquire a new identity to give the impression that they are still relevant.
Okay. Mr. Malviya, your take on what's happening inside Parliament, because parties that have by far been fence-sitters, like BRS, for example, have now joined hands with the India Alliance, and the opposition is saying that why can't the Prime Minister make a statement, because he's the head, he's a political head of the country, he should be talking about Manipur, is what the opposition says.
The Prime Minister has spoken on Manipur. The Prime Minister has also said that we must not trivialize crime against women. In the last 4 days, 5 instances of women being disrobed and assaulted have appeared in West Bengal. But nobody seems to be asking for Mamata Banerjee's statement. In Rajasthan, just yesterday, another tribal woman was raped and murdered, but nobody seems to be even questioning Ashok Gehlot, when the chief ministers are the one who are responsible for it. Therefore, the opposition is being puerile when they are demanding a statement without a debate. The Prime Minister, I reiterate, has already spoken. The government has agreed for a debate, and given such a scenario, the opposition is only shifting the goalposts because they do not want a debate, because they know a debate will expose them. It will expose the hypocrisy of the party, the Congress in particular, which is the actual party responsible for what's happening in Manipur, because they've been in power for a long time. The conflict between the ethnic groups in Manipur is the legacy of the Congress party. They do not want all these details to come out in the public domain, and that's why they do not want to debate.
All right. Mr. Malviya, I'm going to thank you for joining us with the views on that. We'll, of course, try and connect with a voice from the opposition as well on the latest developments from Parliament. Amit Shah is now getting asked more details on that story. Amit, is there going to be a way forward, given that it does appear that there would be possibly yet another washout, given that both sides are adamant?
Absolutely. Both sides have dug their heels in. The government is very clear that there will be no statement from the Prime Minister on the Manipur crisis inside Parliament. They've categorically stated that they're open to a short duration discussion, which they've communicated, of course, to the Lok Sabha Speaker's office as well as the Chairman's office in the Rajya Sabha. And there will be a reply, they say, from the Home Minister, because the MHA is the nodal ministry. As far as any sort of law and order discussion is concerned, the MHA will be replying to any sort of discussion. So that is something that they're absolutely clear about. The opposition, of course, has dug its heels in as well. They're absolutely adamant, especially after the suspension of Aam Aadmi Party Member of Parliament Sanjay Singh yesterday from the Rajya Sabha for the rest of the monsoon session. They're very clear that they're going to continue to press for the Prime Minister's statement on the Manipur crisis in the floor of the House, which is the Rajya Sabha, as well as the Lok Sabha, of course. And they will, of course, demand a discussion which, in fact, happens immediately after suspending all business. So that is something that they're demanding at the moment. Also, some sources telling us that after that opposition huddle, which happened earlier this morning in the LOP's office, Mallikarjun Kharge's office in the Rajya Sabha, they've decided to possibly go forward and move a no-confidence motion against the government. So if that, of course, happens, Sneha, this, of course, takes the war between the two sides, between the NDA and the India bloc, a few notches up.
You know, Palmi, also as far as the opposition is concerned, what's really been on display, and there was a lot of talk about this given that the India political bloc came together, is that there has been unity as far as all these opposition parties, 26 of them is concerned. In addition to it, the BRS, for example, on an issue like the ordinance in Delhi, has come together. They also are pretty much on the same page with the other opposition parties. They've otherwise been fence-sitters.
Absolutely. The BRS has also been mounting pressure on the government as far as the Manipur crisis is concerned. They are standing firm with the 26 opposition parties that form the India alliance that there should be a statement from the Prime Minister on the Manipur issue. They want the Manipur issue to be discussed on priority.
Palmi, be with us. Congress's Ranjit Ranjan, in fact, is speaking. Let's go straight to her.
मणिपुर के बाद और इतने इम्पोर्टेंट मुद्दे थे, ये सिर्फ डाइवर्ट कर रहे हैं. 4 लाइन बोला तो ये भी बोल देते ना कि हम चर्चा चाहते हैं लेकिन 267 और एडजॉर्नमेंट मोशन में नहीं चाहते हैं. ये भी अमित शाह जी को कहना चाहिए था कि हम इसको अति संवेदनशील और अति अर्जेंट मैटर नहीं मानते हैं, क्योंकि एडजॉर्नमेंट मोशन में डिस्कशन नहीं लेना इट मीन्स कि सरकार इसको अति संवेदनशील और अर्जेंट मैटर नहीं मानती है.
देखिए, विपक्ष को से जो दुर्गति बना दी है वो उचित नहीं है. मुझे लगता है पहल करनी चाहिए सरकार को. संसद तभी चलती है जब सरकार चाहती है. अब मैंने एक मंत्री ग्रुप में देखा, संसदीय कार्य मंत्री ग्रुप में, कि सरकार को पहल करनी पड़ती है. हम जाते थे जेटली जी के पास, सुषमा स्वराज जी के पास, उनसे रास्ता निकाल के उनसे बात करते थे, उनकी बात सुनते थे, पर उनके कहने के अनुसार हम जो है कोई समझौता करते थे, कदम रखते थे, तब संसद चलती थी. यहाँ वो कोई प्रक्रिया नहीं हो रही. तो मेरा यही अनुरोध है कि मणिपुर के मामले में प्रतिष्ठा का विषय नहीं बनाना चाहिए और हमें जो है संसद को सुचारू रूप से चलाने के लिए पहल करनी चाहिए सरकार को और विपक्ष से बात करके रास्ता निकालना चाहिए.
चेयरमैन ने साफ साफ कहा है कि हम एक्शन लेने से हेजिटेट नहीं करेंगे.
वो अलग चीज़ है, वो बातचीत के जरिए सब कुछ सुलझ सकता है. अगर चेयरमैन ने कोई बात कही है तो सरकार को पहल लेकर चेयरमैन और विपक्ष के साथ भी बातचीत करानी चाहिए.
Saravanan is now joining us. Mr. Saravanan, the Prime Minister in the parliamentary meeting of the Bharatiya Janata Party has said that using India is not going to work in your name because at the end of the day we also had...
Yeah.
Just going to come back to you. In fact...
और माननीय अमित शाह जी ने, राजनाथ सिंह जी ने और सभी हमारे नेताओं ने बताया है कि चर्चा के लिए हम तैयार हैं. और बाद में प्राइम मिनिस्टर आना है तो आएगी, लेकिन होम मिनिस्टर माननीय अमित शाह जो उसका रिप्लाई दे देंगे, लेकिन चर्चा तो जो शुरू होनी चाहिए, बाद में पीएम आ सकते हैं, तो उसके लिए अडामुन भूमिका लेना ठीक नहीं है। और इतना हंगामा करने के बाद संजय सिंह को जो भी मतलब सस्पेंड किया है, ये निर्णय माननीय चेयरमैन जी का सही निर्णय है और रोज हंगामा होना ठीक नहीं है। इसीलिए मैं सभी दलों के मेंबर को आह्वान करना चाहता हूँ कि शांति से चर्चा शुरू हो और हम रिप्लाई देने के लिए तैयार हैं और प्राइम मिनिस्टर भी आ सकते हैं।
Okay, going straight to DMK's A. Saravanan. Mr. Saravanan, the Prime Minister has just said that using the word India is not going to help the India opposition bloc because Indian Mujahideen also has the word India in it, and so does the East India Company, accusing your political alliance of misusing the word India.
Yeah. See, when you said parliamentary, for a moment I thought, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought the Prime Minister has gone to the Parliament to speak about this. We would have been happy if the Prime Minister made these statements inside the Parliament. We have a Prime Minister who's afraid to go inside the Parliament, who's scared of speaking among his colleague MPs. This is what everybody is demanding.
Okay.
It is the duty, solemn duty of the Prime Minister to speak inside the Parliament, but he does everything else.
Okay.
He speaks everywhere else except the Parliament, and now he has come out with this, this is Indian Mujahideen, Indian... See, it clearly shows that the Prime Minister is rattled.
Okay. I'm also going to get a word from Mr. Karthi Chidambaram, MP of the Congress Party. Mr. Chidambaram, the Prime Minister has said that this is a directionless opposition. What do you have to say about this? Also, the Prime Minister has accused the India political bloc of misusing the word India, saying that even Indian Mujahideen has the word India in it.
Does the BJP have a monopoly over the word India, that we can't have our alliance named after India? And this is rather an obtuse attitude in dissing us. And obviously, there is some resonance in the name of our alliance and in the formation of our alliance, and that is why the Prime Minister is reacting in such a way. The people of India will decide whether they want to back the India alliance or the divisive NDA alliance. Let's leave it to the people of India.
What is going to be the way forward, Mr. Chidambaram? Because we are looking at yet another washout of the proceedings of the House. Given that...
A very simple way. Okay. This impasse can be ended very, very simply by a simple act of the Prime Minister coming to the floor of the House. The Prime Minister is a member of the House, and he must come to the floor of the House and issue a suo motu statement on the status of what is happening in Manipur and what his government is doing to bring the situation back to normal, after which we can have a discussion where all parties will participate.
Mr. Chidambaram, another suggestion from the government today, wherein they said that why not also have a discussion on the issue of women's safety in West Bengal and Rajasthan, for example.
We could, but this is an ingeniously fraudulent argument by the BJP.
Okay.
Equate one-off incidents which have been gender-driven in other parts of the country with what is happening in Manipur. What is happening in Manipur is ethnically driven. There is a crucial difference. While I condemn all acts of violence against anybody, including women in other parts of the country, be it a Congress-ruled state or be it a BJP-ruled state, but equate those one-off incidents with an ethnically driven violence in Manipur is ingeniously fraudulent.
You know, my last question to you, Mr. Chidambaram, is that the BJP has just a few moments ago on our channel gone on to say that the Congress is responsible for the kind of ethnic violence that we're seeing in Manipur. And that's the reason why they don't want a discussion and hence the hangama.
So we are responsible. Are they blaming Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru for the violence in Manipur now? I mean, this whataboutery of the BJP is baffling. I mean, this betrays their lack of grip over the administration of the state, which they rule directly via the state government and by the central government. They absolutely have no grip over the situation there. To blame an opposition party for the violence there. If they think that we are responsible for the violence, why don't they take action against those who are apparently belonging to our party who are responsible for the violence? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This whataboutery doesn't wash well, and the people of India are clearly seeing how badly they are exposed in their lack of ability to manage the situation.
Okay. I'm going to thank you, Mr. Chidambaram, for joining us. So you heard from the Congress there that this is whataboutery. And it's ridiculous to say that the Congress is responsible for the situation in Manipur, is what Mr. Karthi Chidambaram has just said. Thanking Mr. A. Saravanan as well for joining us with his views on developments from Parliament House today. More news coming in this morning. It's a big government counter against award vapasi. The government is mulling prevention of award vapasi with the parliamentary panel wanting an undertaking from the awardees. The parliamentary panel says, do not make award a political tool is what we are learning. These are the recommendations of a parliamentary panel that do not make the award a political tool, given that in the last few years, several instances of those who have received awards from the government for the work done in different fields have protested, saying that we will return our awards, putting the government in an embarrassing situation. Now, the government wants to avoid it, and that's the reason why a parliamentary panel has in fact suggested that there will be an undertaking from the awardees that if at all you have been given an award, you will not use this as a political tool. Keeping what really happened in the beginning of the first term of the BJP-led NDA government with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 1 year into governance in the year 2015, where there was a big hue and cry with several writers and artists threatening to return their awards. Rahul Gautam has more on that. Rahul, the government herein is trying to prevent itself from being in a bit of a spot there with various persons, artists, writers, talking about the fact that because of the unrest in the country, they want to return their awards.
Pointed out that Sneha, that this award vapasi and eminent writers and scholars, they had returned their awards back in 2015 against writing incidents of cow vigilantism at that point of time. And now a suggestion, has been, given to Parliamentary Standing Committee on Culture, wherein it has been suggested that an undertaking should be taken from shortlisted candidates for Academy Awards beforehand, that the honours would not be returned for political reasons. Now, obviously, we can expect that this move or this idea would be criticized by the opposition leaders who are saying that this is nothing short of, putting restrictions on curbs on one's freedom, that whether he really wants to, lodge his or her protest on any issue, and whether he or she are not agreeing with the government. So this clearly, you can expect, is going to become a flashpoint between opposition and government. Remember, this parliamentary panel was in fact attended by many other leaders as well, and there were several MPs who said that this is not a good precedent when when any author or writer returns their award, it actually reflects bad and very poorly on the part of the government, even though, it has been, influenced by political reasons. So clearly, it seems that this might again become a ground for another standoff between opposition and government. But it seems that this suggestion has not gone really well with opposition leaders.
Thanking you for the moment, for getting us up to speed with that, Rahul Gautam, with that detailed report on what are the recommendations of this particular panel and what has been said in terms of objections to these recommendations of an undertaking. More news coming in. The Muslim side has moved High Court against the Archaeological Survey of India's survey. The Muslim side has pushed for an urgent hearing. The Muslim side is urging the High Court to hear this case today itself. Urgent hearing sought as the Supreme Court, remember, just yesterday had stayed the ongoing survey until tomorrow. Tomorrow I mean Wednesday, 5 p.m. The court yesterday had said, the Supreme Court, that until the Muslim side gets an opportunity to approach a lower court, in this case the High Court, in terms of what is the kind of relief that they want, and that opportunity is given to them, the survey can't be carried out in any form, is what the Supreme Court had said in an order that was passed yesterday. And the Muslim side is pushing for an urgent hearing, is what we've been given to understand. An urgent hearing is what the Muslim side is pushing for, moving the High Court against the survey of the Archaeological Survey of India. As far as the Gyanvapi Mosque survey is concerned, remember, the survey began at 7 a.m. last morning, and it had to be stopped because the Supreme Court had to be, in fact, the Supreme Court intervened. The Muslim side had moved Supreme Court, saying that they had not got enough time to, in fact, seek relief from a lower court, and that the survey, in fact, is going to disturb the mosque, and the fact that prayers will not be allowed, also raising concerns about disturbance in the physical structure of the mosque. Santosh has more details on that story. Santosh, in fact, this was expected, given that the Supreme Court gave time to the Muslim side to approach the High Court.
In few moments, we can say the Muslim party can appeal to the High Court Allahabad, and from Intizamiya Committee, the team of court will file an appeal before the registrar, and then after that the registrar will decide which bench of Allahabad High Court will hear this petition, which as the Supreme Court ordered ordered the stay of ASI survey in Varanasi Gyanvapi case up to 26th of July up to 5 p.m. Before that, Allahabad High Court have to decide, and Supreme Court has given a time for the Muslim, we can say the party, to file a petition before High Court. So today we can say the Muslim party can file a petition before Allahabad High Court within a half an hour.
All right, I'm going to thank you, Santosh, for getting us up to speed with that. The Muslim side urging the High Court to hear the case urgently and to hear it today. With that, it's time for a quick commercial break here. News continues on the other side.
You are watching India Today.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 37 and minimum 30 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 27 and minimum 25 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 35 and minimum 27 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 21 and minimum 19 degrees. Chennai, maximum 27 and minimum 25 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 25 and minimum 22 degrees.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 37 and minimum 30 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 27 and minimum 25 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 35 and minimum 27 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 21 and minimum 19 degrees. Chennai, maximum 27 and minimum 25 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 25 and minimum 22 degrees.
On the ring road, you can see there's only water, water and water everywhere.
What could have been done to provide proper facilities to the people who have been affected by the Yamuna flood?
How long will it take for normalcy to return to Delhi?
The national capital now finding itself virtually submerged in water.
Grounded in journalism, on the ground reporting, in the water reporting, only on India Today TV.
Very good afternoon. You're watching India Today. I'm Nabila Jamal. Let me start with the headlines first. Amid ruckus and uproar in the parliament, Prime Minister Modi tears into the opposition over parliament ruckus, says Indian Mujahideen also misused India.